Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Firearms Familiarization. I'm Dave Mollison, Vice President of Vengeance International.
And I'm Doug Mollison, the President of Vengeance International. And what we have here with us today is a single-action revolver.
So we're going to show you the basic function and proper terminology of a modern single-action revolver.
And as always, we'd like to remind you that this is in no way a substitute for professional training by a qualified firearms instructor. As we discussed in our Fundamental Rules of Firearm Safety video, the first thing we're going to do when handling any firearm is open the action to verify that it's clear of any ammunition. On a modern single-action revolver like this Ruger Blackhawk, we're going to make sure that the firearm is pointed in a safe direction and then open the loading gate. Now we're going to rotate the cylinder all the way around and check each chamber. On older model single-action revolvers, you may have to put the hammer in a half-cock position in order to rotate the cylinder. Now we're going to identify the parts of this revolver. Here we've got the barrel, frame, cylinder, trigger guard, trigger, hammer, hammer spur, grip, base pin latch, ejection rod, front sight, rear sight, and loading gate. This type of revolver can only be fired in single action. This means that the trigger is only going to perform one function, and that is releasing the hammer. So each time we want to fire a round, we're first going to have to cock the hammer. And once the hammer is cocked and our sights are on target, we can then pull the trigger. You'll have to repeat this process each time you wish to fire a round. Here we have some snap caps. These are dummy rounds machined from solid aluminum and have a spring-loaded primer to help protect the firing pin. These are a great training aid for practicing your trigger pull or practicing loading and unloading. I'll put a product link in the description below. In order to load a single-action revolver, the first thing we're going to do is open the loading gate. Now we're going to insert a round into the first chamber, then rotate the cylinder to the next chamber and insert the next round. Repeat this process until all chambers are full. Once all chambers are full, we can now close the loading gate. To unload a single-action revolver, we're going to open the loading gate and then align the first chamber with the ejection rod. Now manipulate the ejection rod towards the rear to eject the round or spent shell casing. Now rotate the cylinder to the next chamber and repeat this process until all chambers are clear. Now, rotate the cylinder all the way around and visually inspect each chamber to make sure they're clear of any ammunition. Now close the loading gate. In order to make thorough cleaning of your single-action revolver possible, the cylinder is removable on most models. In order to remove the cylinder on this Ruger Blackhawk, you're going to push the base pin latch and then pull the base pin all the way forward. Now you're going to open the loading gate and remove the cylinder carefully. Once your revolver is clean, you'll replace the cylinder by opening the loading gate and carefully inserting the cylinder into the frame. Now push the base pin latch and move the base pin forward a little. Then wiggle the cylinder and push the base pin all the way back to the rear until it locks.
Before we finish up, we wanted to mention that the only thing that can be considered an external safety is the single-action trigger, which requires you to cock the hammer before it can be fired.
Right, and as we discussed in our Introduction to Double-Action Single-Action Revolvers video, this single-action revolver also has a drop safety, which works in much the same way. And as always, be sure to follow the fundamental rules of firearm safety.
If you like this video and found it informative or know someone that would, please like, share, and subscribe.
And remember, hit that bell icon so you'll be notified each time we release a new video.
Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.